Hey everyone, I'm Ashley, and in today's video is an overdue video. I definitely owe y'all a video finishing out my business workshop that I have been completed for about a week and a half now. I believe in the last video I stopped with week 5 or so, and we did 8 weeks of that, so I definitely owe y'all this video. And so let's just get into this video. So basically week 6, 7, and 8 kind of went together in the sense that we really focused on business licenses and insurance. We kind of talked a little bit about, I have my notes in front of me. We talked a lot about fixed and variable costs and how to run your business, as well as profit and breaking even. And then we talked a little bit about cash flow, projecting sales, and kind of knowing how much you need to be able to run your business full time or just run it at all. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those topics. So basically going back to breaking even and business licenses and all that stuff, they talked about how it's really important to run a business if you're trying to run a business. So making sure that everything is in line if you're going to run a business. So having QuickBooks or paying yourself out of your business, keeping your business separate from your personal, because if you run into a situation to where somebody sues you, you will not lose your personal assets. And we kind of talked about the different types, and so the one that I have is an LLC, and basically from my understanding, it's just basically that I have to keep my business expenses and my personal expenses separate. And that's to protect the fact that if somebody sues my business, they will sue my business account. So only my business assets are in jeopardy. My house and all of my savings personally will not be put in jeopardy. Now, if I start mingling the two accounts together, then if somebody sues my business, they won't, the people that courts or whatever, they won't be able to see what's business and what's personal, because I've mingled it all together, which puts everything at risk. My house, my accounts that are personal, my savings accounts that are personal, it puts everything up to be sued against. So they talked about how it's important to make sure that you keep those separate, with separate accounts, and paying yourself from it, and being able to have that distinction of that you're not merging the two accounts, you're paying yourself from that account. Then when we get into breaking even and all of that, just kind of sitting down and getting that paper and pencil out and being able to determine what are your cost of goods, what are you selling it from, profit margin, which is the amount that the amount it took to make the product versus the amount that you're selling it from, and the difference between that, and seeing if you're even making a profit, if you're pricing your items correctly so that you're able to make a profit. What is cashing in versus what is cashing out, being able to keep all of those things organized, which is why I have QuickBooks, which is really helpful when it comes to knowing what's coming in, what's going out. Having insurance is super important as well. Making sure that you are covered. So kind of going back to that business license, something that can help protect you and your business from being sued. Business insurance is right there with that. And I believe I have State Farm for my business insurance, which is a whole other video that I have on YouTube of trying to find business insurance for my business and what I do as far as soap making. It is super hard. It's a lot easier if I did candles. A lot of people that I reached out to were willing to provide me insurance if I did candles, but with soap making and handcrafted soap making, it seemed like impossible to find insurance. But I finally found some, and that has been working out fine. It's not a huge expense, but it's definitely an expense and something to take into consideration when you're running a small business, and especially when you're just starting out. These fees of licenses, business insurance, they can seem very frightening, but it's something that is absolutely necessary if you're running a business. And these are things that I did not do until about 5 months into my business. So definitely something to keep in mind as something that is important early on in your business. Formulating a business plan is always important. And during the course of this workshop, they really focused on this Canva model, which has your customer, it has the problem that your business is trying to fix, it has your alternatives. So these are the alternatives people can use instead of choosing you to purchase from. It has the solution. So what problem are you trying to fix, and what is the solution to the problem? The benefits of your business, the advantages of your products, the message that you're trying to send to your customers, the distribution method, the revenue. So what type of revenue streams are you bringing in? Your startup needs, as well as your startup costs. These are all something that was continuously highlighted throughout the workshop. And if you are interested in kind of knowing more about the Canva, I talk about it in some of my earlier videos on the workshop. But it's super important to be able to know, like, who are your competitors? What products you make, the advantages of those products, your distribution methods. What problem are you trying to fix? So the hugest part that we focused on in these last few weeks have been about your sales pitch. And I will kind of give you a little version of my sales pitch. But this is something that when I read it, they really critiqued me on it and had me revise it and re-revise it. And so basically the sales pitch is introducing yourself. So a sales pitch is something that you do when you're even talking to wholesale customers, where you're trying to pitch your business to somebody, whether it's wholesale, whether it's retail, whether you're in a business to where you're trying to get a grant to fund your business, or money to fund your business at a bank or something like that. This sales pitch is super important, and being able to have certain things in it. So I'm going to read my sales pitch to y'all, and then I'm going to give you the critique that the instructor gave me. So basically it says, I'm Ashley, the owner and creator of All Things Mental Health by Ashley. The name All Things Mental Health by Ashley was created because I wanted a brand that promotes self-care and mental health through products. I started my business on September 17th, 2022, and have rebranded and revamped my business to what it is today. During the pandemic, my typical ways of practicing self-care was paused, monthly massages, and getting my nails done. My products allow you to practice self-care in your home. Even though we live busy lives and are juggling various tasks, it is important to take care of ourselves. I hope my products help introduce or reintroduce self-care back into your life. So this is something that I was doing prior to this sales pitch topic. This is what I was sending out to wholesale customers or retail customers to try to get in sales. The critique that I got was that I talk a lot about my products, but in this sales pitch, I don't say what my products are. So one of the things that they had told me to do is to talk about what products I have. So just a brief, maybe 1 or 2 liner about the different types of products. So lip balm, lip scrub, whipped body butter, whipped sugar scrub, list them out. And then also that second sentence, list out the different scents. So the aroma scents, like the eucalyptus and the grapefruit and the pink sea salt, listing out all of those scents and how they kind of intermingle with self-care and mental health as far as like the aroma aspect of them. Another critique that I got was that I don't really detail the connection between self-care and mental health, which is in my name, in my brand. And even though for some people it's very common sense, for a lot of people, they're not able to make that connection. So being able to kind of talk about how in my business and in my message, I identify self-care as a form of mental health. And in providing self-care to yourself and practicing self-care, it helps your mental health as well. So being able to detail that in the sales pitch is super important. That's the majority of what we've been working on, because there's a contest that's being had where you can enter. And I believe for this contest, you have to submit your financials. So you have to come up with a financial plan. It doesn't have to be a realistic or a real one if you don't already have a business started. Because some of the people in my class, they haven't started their business. They are still in the process of it. So just getting together a financial plan and being able to do a video of your sales pitch and submitting that. You can enter the contest, and a certain amount of people are selected to actually come in person to participate in the contest. And I believe it's a monetary amount that you get if you win. But when you get invited in person, so you made it past step 1 and you got invited to step 2, you're able to actually bring your product or bring your experience, whether it's photography or whatever it is, and be eligible to win the huge monetary amount. And in that, it allows you to practice your sales pitch in person in front of a panel of people. I'm not entering that contest, but it's just really good to be able to have this sales pitch down packed, because if somebody asks you at the grocery store, like let's say you're in the grocery line and somebody says, hey, like what are you doing this weekend? Just a small chat, and you say, oh, I'm working, I'm going home to make some soap. And then that may start up a conversation. And it's important to kind of have that sales pitch, not that you're trying to sell it to that person, but just being very knowledgeable about your business and having that verbiage in your brain to be able to kind of spit it out at any moment when somebody is asking you about your products. Even though when you're in the grocery store, you may not be on small business mindset at that point, but when you're running a small business and you're just starting out, it's important to keep that stuff in your mind at all times so that you're able to easily spit it out and talk to people and educate people about your business and what you do, because you never know when it may end up in a sale. You never know if that person may know the owner of a boutique down the road and may be able to get you in. You never know where these conversations may lead you. So it's just super important to be able to know that. And that's something that I have found when I do events or when I'm just having small talk to people. I've gotten a lot of sales that way, and a lot of just invitations to places, to events and everything. It's just super important to be able to do that. So in all, I have learned a lot in this workshop, and it has molded me into the business that I am today. It has allowed me to become more confident about my business and more vocal. I was watching a YouTube video where somebody said that they were very nervous about talking to people about their business because they felt very pushy and they felt like very nervous. And I get that sometimes, but it's really important that you are in the business of making money. You cannot make money if nobody knows about you. And so I'm very much getting into the habit of, in conversations, bringing up certain stuff and letting people know what I do. And everybody pretty much knows that I do this, and that has allowed me to, like I said, somebody reached out to me and asked me to be a part of their vendor event, which is huge. Being 6 months or 5 months into my business, I'm still reaching out to people asking, hey, can I get in? So to have somebody reach out to me and ask for my business specifically is a huge win in my book. This is a place that didn't even advertise that they wanted vendors. They specifically reached out to vendors that they liked and invited us. And that meant everything to me, as I'm still trying to get my name out there and my brand's name out there. So like I always say, stay encouraged. If you're still in the brainstorming of what do I want to do, if you're still in I'm saving up money to be able to fund my business, don't get discouraged. Keep going. Maybe you can reach out to somebody who maybe has a workshop similar to this. I know that the workshop that I did is a co-starters workshop, and it was funded by a local university that has a business organization, and they really help small businesses providing education. And these are people that I have reached out to outside of the class and just gotten a lot of advice from. They've given me a lot of tips and tricks and told me about different events coming up that I have hopped on the opportunity for. So it's just a lot. And then it's also a place where I can talk to other small business owners that also understand the struggle. They understand what it's like to be financially in a pinch. They understand what it's like to not have family support and family understanding of what it's like to run a business. It is a whole lot, and it's really good to have some small business friends that you can just chat with and vent to and just kind of brainstorm ideas with, because they also understand what it's like to run a small business. And particularly for my situation, running a small business in a small town. So don't give up, stay encouraged, and I, as always, hope that my videos help bring some type of encouragement to you and that it gives you what you need to help keep going as you run your small business. So if you like videos like this, or if you have specific topics that you want to see, comment below, let me know. And as always, I love doing these videos. I'm going to continue to do them, and I hope that you enjoy them. Bye.